I'm going to show you how to start a business and grow it to $10,000 a month in 30 days. Welcome to this video, which is the first of this series, episode 1. This is the $0 to $10,000 a month business blueprint 30-day challenge. If you've been thinking about starting a business, or you have a business and you want to grow it to $10,000 a month, this is going to be the complete guide where I'm going to show you step by step exactly what to do and do it with you in real time so that you can do exactly that. So what we're going to be covering in this series is the $0 to $10,000 30-day blueprint. There are 6 steps which we're going to work through. So step number 1, and this is what this video today is going to be about, is understanding the best business model to use to go from $0 to $10,000 a month. This is the most important step, and this is also the step that most people get wrong. So I'm going to explain the very best business model for a beginner to go from $0 to $10,000 a month and explain why it's the best so that you can decide for yourself. Then we're going to go through how to actually craft your offer, how to make a unique product or service to sell from scratch with no experience, then how to launch a business and start generating your first sales. Step 4 is going to be all about advertising and marketing, so how to successfully advertise your business online and generate consistent sales. Step 5 is going to be how to consistently convert sales. And lastly, optimization and scaling to $10,000 a month. Again, this is going to be everything you need, a complete free course online that you can follow, and if you implement, you will be able to start and grow your business. So before we dive in, briefly, a bit about me. My name is Connor. Over the last few years, I've made close to $10 million online. I've started and grown multiple businesses to 6 figures a month, $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 a month. And most importantly, I've worked with over 1,000 business owners, helping them go from $0 to $10,000 a month or $30,000 a month or even $100,000 a month themselves. So to show you some examples, here are some of our clients we've worked with. This is Josh. He made $16,000 in 30 days. James made $21,000 in 12 days. Steve made $26,000 in a month. Bridget made $10,000 in 12 days. Emma made $9,000 in 10 days. Carl made $12,800 in 30 days. Benny hit his first $10,000 a month, and Nikki made $100,000 in 25 days. So these are our clients that we worked with, but they use the exact system I'm going to be walking through step by step in this series for you for free. So if you are looking to start and grow your business, be sure to subscribe so that you get notified as these new episodes release. So with all that out the way, we can now get started with step 1. Again, the most important step and the step most people get wrong when they're new to starting a business. What business model is going to be best to go from $0 to $10,000 in the quickest amount of time possible? So how do we choose the right business model? There are a lot of different business models. The ones that you're probably most familiar with are product-based businesses or e-commerce businesses. These are selling products online, typically $50 to $200 per product. Creating a website online or selling through Amazon or dropshipping, that is a product-based business. The next is a service business. So this is typically a higher priced or higher ticket service, which could be an agency, a done-for-you service, coaching or consulting. And then lastly, we have SaaS or software as a service. Now, all 3 of these business models can be effective and are effective for different businesses. I personally have businesses in all 3 of these areas, so I know them well. However, depending on your goal, one business model is going to be better than the others. And so which is best? If you're a beginner and you're trying to go to $10,000 a month, then by far, without a doubt, the best business model to do that is a high-ticket service-based business. Now, what most people will tell you is that the best business model for beginners is e-commerce. However, that isn't the case, and I'm going to explain to you why. Keep in mind, I do have an e-commerce business that's made millions of dollars, and so I've got nothing against e-commerce. However, it isn't the best option for a beginner to start with. Now, the whole point of this series is to educate you so that you have the skills and understanding yourself. And so rather than me just telling you what model is best, let's compare both of them and see why one might be better than the other. So this is a 6-area analysis that you can very simply do on any idea or any business that you might want to start to very quickly see the validity of that idea and see whether or not it's going to be worth your time. Starting with number 1, we have the transaction value. The transaction value is basically what is the price of the product or service you're going to be offering? How much is a customer going to pay you when they purchase from your business? So if we start off with product or e-commerce based businesses, you're going to be looking at roughly $50 to $200 per product. And so the average is around about $100, give or take. Compare that to a service-based business, which is going to be priced much higher. Again, it does vary, maybe $1,000, $5,000, $10,000. Let's say the average is going to be $2,000 for a service-based business. So for a product, $100 transaction value. For a service, $2,000 transaction value. The reason that's important to know is because of area number 2, which is the monthly unit volume. Now, this is basically answering the question of how many units or how many sales do I need to make in order to reach my goal? And so for this challenge, our goal is going to be $10,000 a month. And so the way we can work this out is we can take that goal, we can divide it by the transaction value, and that's going to tell us our monthly unit volume. In other words, how many sales do we need to make every month to hit our goal? So for a product-based business, if the transaction value is $100, then the monthly unit volume is going to be 100 units. We need to sell 100 products every month to make $10,000. For a service-based business, because the transaction value is so much higher, we only need to sell 5 units. So right away, we can see a difference here. On one hand, we need to sell 100 units. On the other, we need to sell 5. And so it's going to be much easier to sell 5 things than it is to sell 100 things. The other thing to consider is number 3, and that is the cost of sale. So anytime you sell anything, whether it be a product or a service, there is always going to be a cost. Now, that cost might be time. It might take you time to reach out to people and sell your product or service. That cost might be advertising spend, or it might be labor. Maybe you're hiring people to reach out to people or do cold calls or door to door. Whatever it is, there's always going to be a cost. And that cost is multiplied by each and every unit you need to sell. So if you need to sell 1 unit, there will be 1 times cost. If you need to sell 100 units, there will be 100 times cost. And so if we compare product versus service, a product business where we need to sell 100 units a month, whatever that cost of sale is, we need to do that 100 times. And again, compared to a service business where we only need to sell 5 units, whatever that cost is, we only need to pay that 5 times. And so it's going to be much lower. The fourth area is cost of goods. And so if you're selling a product, let's say it's valued at $100, you need to pay for that product yourself. And that is the cost of goods. And so let's say you pay $30 for a product that you then sell for $100. That's a $30 cost per goods. Now for a product-based business, you're looking roughly around 20 to 30% cost of goods. So if the product was $100, you'd probably be paying $30 for that product, give or take. However, for a service-based business, there is no cost of goods because you're not actually giving a physical product, you're only giving time. Now, obviously there's a value to your time, but in terms of a beginner starting out, probably with not a lot of capital, then the fact that a service-based business has no cost of goods is a massive benefit. The final 2 areas go hand in hand, and they are speed to verify and accuracy requirement. So to understand these 2, you first need to understand one core concept when it comes to business, and that is that most ideas suck. Very often someone will have an idea for a business, and they think it's a great idea. They think it's a 10 out of 10 idea, when in reality, it's not that great. It's maybe 2 out of 10. And so the only way to actually know if your idea for a business is good is if people actually buy your product or service. And so the quicker you can take your idea to the market and start generating sales, the better. You basically want to find a way to have an idea and then verify it by getting a paying customer as quickly as possible. And so if you've got an idea for a product-based business, maybe you want to start an e-commerce website, to actually validate that idea, first of all, you need to source the product, and that might take you a couple weeks. Then you need to get samples of that product. And depending on how good they are, that might take 1 or 2 months. And then you need to manufacture the product in bulk, which could take another couple months. And you need to do all of that before you can even sell the product to see if people will buy it. And so it's a very long process to verify whether or not your idea is good. With a service-based business, you can plan an idea or an offer, and maybe that would take you a couple days. And then the very next day, you can go to your market and ask people whether or not they think it's a good idea, whether or not they would like to buy. And so you can verify your idea very, very quickly. Now, what happens if you go through that process and it turns out you didn't have a good idea, which is more often than not the case? Well, for a product, if people don't like the product, a product is fixed. It's not very customizable. And so if someone doesn't like it, they're not going to buy it, which means after going through this process, which took you 2 to 3 months, if you find out people don't like it, you need to repeat that process again and again. And so it could take potentially years to find a winning product. However, with a service-based business, what you're offering is flexible. To give you an example of this, I used to sell done-for-you marketing to business owners, and our core offer was Facebook ads. We would run Facebook ads for business owners. However, if I was speaking to a business owner and they told me, do you also do email marketing? I could say yes, because the product wasn't fixed. It was customizable. And maybe I spoke to another business owner that didn't want Facebook ads, but wanted Google ads instead. We could offer them that. And so a service-based offer is flexible, and you can change it and customize it. 2 customers could have potentially different services that you're offering. And so the accuracy requirement for a service business is quite low because you can mold it and change it per customer. Whereas for a product-based business, it is very, very high. And so if you're a beginner, this is most important because the chances of you getting your idea right from day one is probably not very likely. And so you want a business model that gives you that flexibility and variability in the accuracy that is required. Now, one of the biggest reasons people choose e-commerce over service when they're starting out is because they think, to sell a service, I need a skill, and I don't have any skills, and so I'm going to start an e-commerce business. But if we actually look at that, to run an e-commerce business, you need a lot of skills. You need to learn website design to design your website. You might need to learn copywriting to write ads or post content. You probably need to learn the skill of paid advertising. You'll need to learn the skill of product research and email marketing and content and social media. And so you need to learn all of these skills to run an e-commerce business, whereas any one of these skills could be a service that you sell to someone else. And so rather than learning all of them, you could learn one. And so both product and service businesses require skill, but only service businesses has a high transaction value, has a low monthly unit volume, has a low cost of sale, has little to no cost of goods, has the fast speed to verify, and the low accuracy requirement. And so that is why the battle of product versus service wins if you are trying to start a business and grow it to $10,000 a month as quickly as possible. And so if we know that the business model is going to be service, the next question you're probably going to ask is, what service do I sell? So let's figure it out. A service business is selling one of two things: skills or experience. An example of skills would be, maybe you've got skills in marketing or website design or coding or playing guitar or video games. These are all skills that you could use to start a service-based business. Now, if you don't have any skills, you can still sell experience. And an example of this would be, maybe you've got a great relationship. Well, having a great relationship is something that people would pay to learn how to do. And so you can take your knowledge from your experience and sell it as a service. Maybe you've got a great career. Maybe you know how to get promotions at your job. That could be something that people would pay to learn. Maybe you've got ADHD and you learned how to study at college or university with that. That is something, an experience, that people would pay to learn how to do. Maybe you're really good at meeting people. Maybe you're very confident. That's something people would want to know how to do. Or maybe you've had experience going through breakups and you learned some skills or tips to get through them. Again, these are all experiences that you could sell as a service. Once you know what skill or experience you want to sell, the next question is, how do I sell it? And there's two main types of service businesses. One is a done-for-you service, like a marketing agency, where you would do a service for someone else. I used to run a marketing agency. We sold Facebook ads to business owners or Google ads or email marketing. The other is coaching or consulting. This is where you're working with people to help them through a specific area or help them solve a problem or help them achieve a specific outcome. If your skill or experience is something that you can do for someone, for example, marketing or website design or coding, where you can actually do it for them, then you should sell your service as a done-for-you service. If you're good at website design, you could create websites for someone. On the other hand, if your skill or experience is something that you can't do for someone else and you can help them do, for example, helping people through breakups, that's not something you can necessarily do for them, but you can help them do, or helping people increase their confidence, or helping people learn to play the guitar. These aren't things that you can necessarily do for someone, but they're something you can help someone do. Then you could offer your service as a coaching or consulting package, where you're coaching or consulting someone to do those different things. Now, in the next video, I'm going to break down exactly what that would look like and how to build that out. For now, we just want to get some idea of what type of skill or experience can you be selling. So now let's set some action items and actually plan your business model. So step one, get a piece of paper, make a column. On one side, write skills. On the other side, write experiences. And list all of your skills and all of your experiences. I gave some examples in the video. If you need to go back and check, do that. Make a list of all your different skills and experiences. Then step two, from the ones that you are interested in, from the ones that you enjoy, from the ones that you could see yourself pursuing as a business, put them into one of two categories. Is it something that you can do for someone else, in which case it would be a done-for-you service? Or is it something that you could help someone else do, in which case it would be a coaching or consulting-based service? Go through that, make a list, and then pick one that you want to actually pursue as your business, and that is the base of the business. That is going to be step one of our blueprint. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to take that concept and idea and actually turn it into a sellable, viable offer that you can go out and start getting clients with. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you've enjoyed this. Be sure to subscribe so you get notified when the next video comes out. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below.